But I took it. Now, since 6 years, our, can you expect? 30 to 40 lakhs I'm getting to the students. And even the post-metric scholarship was made online. Children doesn't know how to apply. छोड़ दिए, चलो नहीं आता, छोड़ दिए. Then what to do? 40 lakh, 35 lakh बच्चों को देती थी, no? How to get out of this? Then I planned that I should outsource this to somebody. First I planned for a PPT. पूरे बच्चों को कॉन्फ्रेंस हॉल में जमा दी. I told them this is how we should do step by step by step. यहाँ पे कंप्यूटर पे जाके बैठो, ऐसा करो, ऐसा करो, ऐसा करो, ऐसा करो. Nobody followed. क्या करें? Then we outsourced. I outsourced them and saw to it that each one of the students get this. I'm not taking anything just as a guideline for others. I'm telling we can do as individuals. So many things, we can do wonders. Making use of the common plan, establishing more and more, that is also over, no? Collaboration, creating awareness and guidance centers, how to open account, forming in circles and guiding the parents and the students of various schools and colleges. So establishing these groups and making them to work out, train them in the localities, in the colleges, pick up the students and send us the facilitators who are well trained and guide them about these things. Then all the faculty members, principals in the management of the minority institutions should take initiative in guiding the students to get the benefit of minorities and training scheme, educational and training schemes. There are a number of schemes that are all of you must be knowing. The extreme poverty and careless attitude of the parents towards children's education must be tackled amicably. Most of the parents consider children as an asset. Hence, a large percent of Muslim children are engaged in child labor. We have to establish counseling centers. I'm just skipping up. Counseling centers that can guide the parents and the students for increasing admission and reducing dropouts. Wherever feasible, we should also encourage distance education. Then conducting surveys before the start of every academic year should be another initiative you are doing, I think. With the help of local people in the Muslim-dominated areas and approach the nearby schools to admit children under RTE. Then conducting surveys of the slums and the rural areas with Muslim majority and teams of trained counselors should be formed to counsel and guide the parents for educating their children. Then bridge the gap that is widening in the levels of education of the boys and the girls of the community. Large number of girls, particularly at the urban centers, are getting educated but not the boys. This has resulted in large number of highly educated girls invariably marrying boys who are illiterate or just literate. This has led to a lot of harassment, disrespect, violence against women in the domestic level. She being educated in many families, she has become the sole breadwinner and husbands are enjoying at her cost. Hence, we have to encourage more and more boys into education along with girls. Let them be the businessmen or whatever, but they should be educated. Teachers are the mentors, they are the torch bearers, they can do a wonderful job. One should become a teacher not by choice, not by chance. Even if it is not by choice, they should be dedicated seriously because it is giving them the bread. Today, hardly we find quality and commitment in the teaching faculty. They need to be addressed for improving the quality by conducting training programs and workshops. Here I have given the example of Teacher Foundation in association with Times Foundation. They are training the teachers with expert mentors. This has come out in 7th Times of India paper on 7th May. So this I have quoted here. Then this is very important. Many minority institutions have not obtained minority status. Hence, they are unable to get the benefits. Efforts should be made to guide and advise such institutions to get the minority status. There should be good rapport between education institutions and the Department of Minorities should have been invited here today. That's what I was feeling. Some people, some officials, and Mr. Abdul Ghaffar is closely associating. I thought of calling him, but not being an organizer, I could not. He is a very nice person. He is doing a good job and he is very responsive. Then deplorable condition of government schools, in particular, the government Urdu schools, improving the infrastructure and buildings. So here, all the government schools, in particular, the Urdu schools are in deplorable condition. Is it not our duty? Is it not our response? Or should we not respond towards this? And 10 years back, I have visited Mavali school. Still it is in the same condition. The surrounding schools, just opposite to mosque, it is there. See the plight. Many of you must have seen, I feel. So if the government schools are improved along with infrastructure and good number of well-trained teachers, then I don't think that there is need of mushrooming private schools, sucking the blood of the poor parents. We must take keen interest in working towards this for you, for your behalf, that you should work towards this as a roadmap for improving the government schools. For achievement of quality and excellence in education, we must develop interactive sessions, open house discussions, public speaking sessions, teaching, learning, etc. Shall I proceed now? With strengthening values in education is a must. There are no values. The education policy has seriously emphasized in 1970, 1986, 1992 that we should have forceful tool of social and moral values. Today in the globalized society, access to English education is a must. And here I have quoted Kiran Mojumdar. I support her idea in this direction. Then counseling does wonders. So I'm a student counselor. Since 16 years I'm counseling students. I have many success stories who are about to drop out, who would not have ended up in anything. Now they are my proud. They are at topmost levels because of counseling. Some have become teachers, some have become officers, and now they were almost ending themselves. Such stories and many cases. Since 16 years, you just think how many must be cases I must be having. I'm thinking that I must write it. I don't know what I can do. As counselors, one has to be good listeners, have patience to be good communicator, give them space to talk freely with confidence. Every institution must have a counseling center with a good trained counselor. I'm trained in NIMHANS and other workshops from the university. Workshops were conducted at the Bangalore University. I have been trained at NIMHANS. I have been trained for a month. Like balancing between conservatism and modernity. While talking about this, many of you must have seen Times of India again. The Vice Chancellor of Aligarh Muslim University, what he has done, what kind of project he has taken. And he was questioned, Zamiruddin Shah. Why? The reporter speaks. Our students have enormous aspiration, he says, want opportunities to prove themselves, but they are afraid of discrimination. I ask them, who is discriminating against? It is the less educated. Look at North America, where South Asians are not discriminated against because they are empowered by education. He proceeds saying that the modern education need to be inculcated. Okay. We should have outcome-based and value-based education. Then we as members of the community need to act as a catalyst. More money is not the index of happiness. You must have the power to buy somebody's tears. Treat people with kindness. Remember, society is in our hands. Make a difference to the people by being good. Designing pilot projects and organizations of innovative programs for diffusion of knowledge is a must. Then here I give an example of Vineet Nayar's Sampark Foundation, what he is doing. We are also doing that. I was not knowing it. That's why I quoted that particular one. And then, that I conclude, I think it's enough. Let us, conclusions. The higher education scene is equally deplorable with our institutes of specialized learning, opening franchises in every nook and corner faster than McDonald's. There is a strong need to move from such massification of education in the name of inclusion and access with little or no care for quality. Let us use the high-tech brains to cook up the best ideas and make us to crave for more. I wish and pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that this forum must bring a fundamental shift, a transformation into the light of knowledge from the darkness of ignorance. My even PPT goes, start with a black background, that is darkness, white words, light, now this is light, sunrise. Thank you all. Sorry.
Thank you, ma'am, for your paper. So now we'll be having a lunch session 1:30. So we had actually planned half an hour for a open house session, but we have only 10 minutes left before us. So we have people here who write down the minutes. So whatever anyone has to say, we just have 10 minutes now. Just 10 minutes बचे हैं हमारे पास lunch से पहले. तो अगर किसी को भी कुछ ऐसा सजेशंस लगता है कि जो इन टॉपिक्स में नहीं आया, अभी जो टॉपिक्स आपके सामने प्रेजेंट किया गया है उसमें अगर वो नहीं आया है, so you can just take the mic and give your suggestion. If there is no time, you can write it down. So we have people writing down the minutes here. So any suggestions you give, inshallah, we'll write it down, because we just want to have everything documented in one place. Because this particular seminar is not just coming and saying something. We just want all the papers that has been presented here as a reference for even for other people, so they can use these papers as a reference for other organizations. So just 10 minutes we have and if anyone has any suggestions, please take the mic and you can give your suggestions.
I have a question.
Okay.
And everybody, Madam was telling that a lot of people are opening international Islamic schools with different names and all. It is for their vested interest. Nobody is working in the interest of the society. Okay, see, we have to give the basic education for the drowned people like yatim, ghurba, poor. उनको education देना है, उनके लिए हम काम करना है. That is the basic we have to start from them. And see, Madam ने कहा कि they have struggled for so many years to build a school of OACs. I'll agree with them. But there is a government schools where Siddaramaiah has said some 2,000 schools they want to close it. So let them adopt these schools. Voluntarily go the NGOs and all adopt these schools, improve these schools. No need to build a building for waiting 6 years to build a building. Already government building is there, government infrastructure is there, government teachers are there. You support them as an NGO or whatever it is. You build this school and take your children to this school and give the quality education. Not like that having a 10 books of a first standard. See, in CBSE, the basic for a first standard children is only 3 books. Only 3 books. First standard in CBSE rules. CBSE guidelines says for a first student is a 3 book. When I send a 4th book, teacher called me said no, a first standard का बच्चा है इसके लिए 3 ही बुक है. आप 3 बुक के सिवा कोई बुक नहीं खरीद सकते. लेकिन यहाँ पे देखिए आप इतना कमर्शियलाइजेशन हो गया है कि एक पहले साल के बच्चों को 20-25 बुकें होते हैं. This is not the education. We need a basic education. इसके लिए हमको काम करना है, बेसिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर देना है. हमको बड़ी-बड़ी स्कूलें या इंटरनेशनल करिकुलम नहीं चाहिए. बच्चा जो होता है वो अच्छे और बुरे तमीज से अखलाक पैदा करता है. ओके, उसको अच्छे मॉरल वैल्यूज सिखाना है. हमको ये नहीं कि उसको इंटरनेशनल स्कूल सिखाए, बचपन से ही सिखाए बच्चा. दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. यूज द गवर्नमेंट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, गवर्नमेंट फैसिलिटीज, you rehabilitate, you adopt the government schools. हमको नई स्कूल खोलना नहीं है. जाइए मोदी नगर में आपको स्कूल मिलेंगे, दो स्कूल मिलेंगे, अडॉप्ट कर दीजिए उसको. उस बिल्डिंग को पेंट कीजिए, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बढ़ाइए. Voluntarily, don't wait for the government. Take the government.
Professor Nishad Madam, page number 5 in the booklet here. Many minority institutions have not obtained minority status, hence they are unable to get the benefits. In this regard, I would like to tell you, see, if you have to go for the minority status, you have to approach the block education officer, DDPI, and there are demand bribes and harassment from their side. They make us run from one table to another, one section to another, and from years it is pending, and at last we won't get the minority status at all. Now, my question is, why is the Department of the Minority Affairs a mute spectator to our difficulties? Why doesn't the Department of Minority Affairs come forward to give the minority status directly, instead of we having the harrowing time of going through the DDPI, the BO?
No, I'll answer that.
Yes.
It's a very easy thing, and there is a Delhi is sitting and waiting for people to come and ask them for the minority status. You can contact Shabistan Ghaffar. I will give you her number. Justice Siddiqui is in charge. They forced us to take the minority status, and ours was done within 2 or 3 months. We just got it last week. They are waiting to give you a minority status. You just need to know which, and like I said, there has to be a body which guides people to set up schools. And like what the gentleman here said, I know that adopting government education institutions is the need of the hour. There are so many lines. For example, we have examples in front of us. In Mosque Road, the government Urdu school was adopted by the Masjid committee, and they've done a good job. And no doubt we are also doing. See, like I told you, we had limited resources to do that. But what we want to prove through a school like ours is to make it a flagship school, make it a developmental institution, because we notice that our Muslim community does not go beyond the 2.5% of zakat. We need to invest in the development of our community. Once we produce model schools and model education institutions and developmental institutions, the welfare becomes an offshoot of this development. We are producing zakat givers, we are producing sadaqah givers, we are producing leaders of the community who will go out and take those government schools and redo them and bring them up to the level of Oasis. And Oasis is open for advice, open to share its resources to bring up such schools. Anybody can come and approach us for training or for any kind of know-how. But we cannot say no to development of the community.
But zakat is meant for the yatima, गुरबा का हक है. आप गुरबा का हक लेके आप स्कूल नहीं चला सकते. आप बताइए अगर गुरबा का हक लेके
That's what I'm saying. Rise above the 2.5%. Rise above the 2.5%. No, we are not using zakat for education. Excuse me. We do not use zakat for our institution at all. That's a clarification. We do not use 1 paisa of zakat for 1 brick of the school. Even 1 brick of the school has not been used.
Okay, I think the clarification has been done. Okay.
Zakat money for education purposes and
Working here, they are imparting Islamic values. But I would like to ask those concerned people who are running the schools, whether are you checking whether these students who learned these values, Islamic values, are they practicing it? Is it bring out any change in the society? In the first in their house, then around their houses, then in the society. Unless this is not, by starting one school, you can change the locality of the students who are residing there.
Yes,
Actually, this survey has to be conducted and
The madrasa things. So I think a lot of questions have come in. So if any more questions are there, you can just write it down. When required, we'll just address it to the speakers and they can write it down the reply for that. So inshallah, now we are going to have the lunch break from 1:30 to 2:30. So request everyone to please join us in having the lunch, and we'll get back at 2:30. Namaz arrangement is there in the ground floor. The volunteers will guide you there. Okay, and for the sisters, I think we'll have it. Okay, sisters and namaz arrangement will be here. For the gents, it will be in the first floor. For 2:30, we'll be joining back here. Thank you. Professor Muzaffar Asadji sir is from Mysore University, the Department of Political Science. So his topic will be higher education, professional education and technical education. So we will be finishing this session by 3:50. This particular subject by 3:15. So request you to please help us with the timekeeping.
she works with Justice Siddiqui
नहीं है
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon to everybody. I've been teaching political science at the University of Mysore for the last 20-25 years. One of the problems that I've been facing as a teacher is that I've not been getting scholars to do PhD. Pardon?